Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
We think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty. Welcome to RadioAMB, designed for those who want to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Schmucker, a licensed cosmetologist who's been in the beauty industry for over 40 years. RadioAMB, which stands for American Made Beauty, is where we tell the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our segment sponsor today is AmericanMadeBeauty.com, a beauty platform designed to help consumers find beauty companies that are implementing the industry's best practices to bring you quality products and services. Check out AmericanMadeBeauty.com, as this year we turn to e-commerce, and you're going to be able to buy your favorite American Made Beauty brands at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Today is a special day because this is April, and it's the year that I turned 59. It's the month of my birthday, and it's always the month that I sort of look back and reflect and spend some time being grateful for all of the amazing things and people and adventures that I've had in my life. And one of them is my guest today. We have been two people that have moved in similar circles for over 30 years. While I was introduced to Horst Rechelbacher, the founder of Aveda, in the late 70s, and over the next 30 years played a role in the Aveda world, my guest today was at the epicenter of Aveda, and from my vantage point, embodies the best of both what Horst Rechelbacher and Aveda wanted to bring to the world. During our feature segment, we'll learn more about David Wagner's early days with Horst, the evolution of his business, and how he discovered his role as a Daymaker. During our shorter segments, we'll continue our conversation to learn key elements about daymaking as a husband, a father, and in creating a culture of daymakers across 11 salons that are spread out over 3 states. We'll wrap up our show today with information on being your own daymaker. How do you do a good job of taking care of yourself? Let me tell you a little more about my honored guest today. David Wagner is the owner and daymaker at Juut Salons. Or SalonSpas. He began his career as a hairstylist by attending beauty school at one of the first Aveda beauty schools in the country in 1977. It was then that his long relationship with Horst, the founder of Horst & Friends Salon and the Aveda Corporation, began. After graduating from beauty school, David began working as Horst's assistant, moving from stylist to vice president of the organization. In 1987, David left to start his own salon in uptown Minneapolis. Within 2 years, David and Horst merged their two companies to become the Horst Salons, Inc. 3 years later, David bought Horst out of the partnership and ran the salons as Horst Salons. Less than 10 years later, he bought JUUST Salon in Palo Alto, California, from famed stylist Yosh Toya. The group of salons changed names from Horst in Minnesota and JUUST in California to Juut SalonSpas in 1999. The name Juut was chosen as it literally means to uplift humanity and serve others. In 2015, Juut acquired 2 additional salons in Arizona, previously known as Mood Swings. In addition to his role as owner, Daymaker at Juut, David is the best-selling author of Life as a Daymaker, How to Change the World Simply by Making Someone's Day, and travels internationally speaking to business, schools, organizations to share the Daymaker movement. Welcome, David. I'm just honored to have you with me today.
It's great to be with you, Patty. My birthday is in April as well.
It is.
Yeah, it's a small world.
So, will you be turning 59 this year too?
58.
There we are. So we're like brothers and sisters. So certainly our adventure started at an early time, and did you know when you chose the Horst school already that it was it already established at that point that it was something special?
No, actually I was in the first class of the first school, so there wasn't anything to compare it to. And I felt really fortunate. I grew up on a farm here in Minnesota, and about as far away from the beauty industry as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And my experience with haircuts or the salon really didn't exist. And, we used to go to my grandmother's farm and get our hair cut. And when I was 14, I went to visit my cousins in the city. And my aunt said, we're going to the salon. Do you want to go with? And I said, yeah, sure. So I walked into the salon when I was 14. And there was rock and roll music playing and beautiful people walking around. It was like Hollywood to me.
Uh-huh.
And I was so drawn to the energy. And then the guy that was cutting my hair told me about the brand new white Corvette that he just bought. So from the time I was 14, I decided I was going to be a hairdresser. I grew up in this small farming town. And so going through high school, I took accounting classes because I knew I wanted to own a salon someday, and I took art classes. And then I found out that Horst was opening a school because he had 4 salons at the time and needed to create apprentices basically for that. So I got in the first class, and that was in 1977. There were 13 of us, and Horst was our instructor. He was the only one with an instructor license. And it was just a riot because, the typical beauty schools back in 1977, pin curl sets and, the typical beauty school.
Right.
And Horst wanted to change that paradigm. So we didn't have any customers when we first opened because it was a brand new school. So we actually did yoga in the morning. So we got indoctrinated into the whole wellness thing. And that was actually before Aveda. But he had, recently come back from India. And so I graduated from the school there. It was in this old mansion in Minneapolis, but the mansion was in kind of a bad part of town. So he was cutting hair next door. There was a salon as part of the mansion. And in this turret, he was cutting hair in 1977, if you can imagine. He was charging $100 a haircut and booked for 3 months in advance in Minneapolis.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And so my first job, I graduated from the school, and I got my first job with Horst at the mansion, and it was valet parking.
Valet parking, not as a hairdresser.
No, and because it was kind of in a bad part of town, the women that drove into the suburbs, or from the suburbs, didn't want to park. So I was the valet parker, and I did it really, really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it well enough that he asked me to come in and be his assistant. So I got to be, pretty much a human clippy and hold hair for him for 6 months. What I learned from him was not just how to do a $100 haircut, but I got to watch him be a $100 stylist and really got to watch the master at work. And so that was my experience with Horst early on. And then he started Aveda at about that same time. And I chose to not go on the floor and start developing a clientele because he had shared with me some of his friends in Europe and what he had learned, traveling around the world doing hair. So I decided to take my car parking money and my shampoo money, and I decided to go to Europe. So I actually went to work. He set me up with Luis Longueras in Barcelona. So I apprenticed with Luis in Barcelona for about 6 months, and then I went on to Paris and worked at Juut SalonSpas with Bruno Pettini. And then I went on to London to study at Sassoon and ended up working in a small salon there before returning to Minneapolis. And when I returned to Minneapolis, Horst had already started Aveda. He had just started Aveda, and his focus was there. So when I came back, he said, I want you to go work in the Highland Park Salon in St. Paul. So I went to work there, and the Highland Salon was in last place.
Oh.
Have you ever worked at the last place?
Yeah.
Like, even if you haven't, you can walk into a restaurant and know that they're in last place, right? So there was this energy that was just dragged down, and I almost walked out, but I decided to stay. And I brought in different music and magazines from Europe, and we started doing soirees and, workshops, and I became manager of that salon. And within a year, we went from last place to first place.
Wow.
And what was remarkable about it was that it was the same people.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fire, a bunch of lazy people and then, replace them with heavy hitters. It was just inspiring the same people. So went from last place to first place. I became manager of the year that year. And at about the same time, the vice president of our company resigned and went to work at Pillsbury. He was an MBA. And Horst came in and asked the salon managers, he said, okay, we're going to be interviewing for a new vice president. What do you need? I said, well, if I was vice president, I would do this and this and this. So about a week later, he called me in and he said, okay, you're vice president.
And that's the way Horst did it in those days.
I was 23.
Right.
I didn't have a clue
right.
about inventory turns and leasehold improvements and all of that stuff. But I did know how to attract the right people, get them to be inspired about what they did and care about our clients.
Mm-hmm.
And so, 23 years old, I was living the dream, and I did that for 3 years before opening my own salon, Salon in 1987, and did that for a few years, as you mentioned, and then I was looking to expand, and Aveda was taking up more and more of Horst's time, so he said, I know we want to get bigger, why don't we merge?
Uh-huh.
So we merged in 1989, and I bought him out a few years later.
So I mean, it's just such an amazing story in terms of being able to go from a beginning spot, but to be able to get his confidence. You said you were his human clippy, but there were only a certain types of people that he brought into that inner circle. What do you think are some of the attributes that you came into it that allowed for that early bond to take place?
It was interesting. He explained to a crowd one time, because I told the story about, how I had come up, and he said, David didn't need to know the business stuff. We can hire people to do that, but you can't hire a leader. And the reason that he thought that I would be a good leader was because people trusted me, mm-hmm. and that I always told the truth, mm-hmm. and that I was fair. So I think, Horst, I think the reason that I was able to, be in his orbit for so long and that he trusted me was that I always told him the truth, or my truth, mm-hmm. and we would argue, and sometimes he was right and sometimes I was, but he always knew that I was giving him, what I thought was the truth, and we had a great relationship in that way.
Yeah, and I think that's also the kind of relationship that I had with him that was, just very unique as compared to other people, and that was the commonality. He wanted people that were courageous enough to speak their truth, and he was willing to. I always say when I talk to people about those years was that the secret sauce to Aveda was that Horst was willing to surround himself with people like you and I, and then he listened. We had lively conversations and banter, but he listened and implemented some of the ideas that we had. Now, so when you look at the development of the business, in terms of being able to go from just one salon to multiple salons, what was it that, what were some of the key things that you picked up along the way that allowed you to continue to be growing the business in that way?
Well, I think one thing that I did early on when I opened my own salon, my name was not on the door. Mm-hmm. So it was about what we did as a group, not about who I was. So It wasn't David Wagner Salon. It was called Salon. And so there was a we feeling, and people worked at Salon, not for David Wagner. Mm-hmm. And then working with Horst and merging with Horst, and then I was honored with JUUST called me as well, one of my mentors, and he's one of my favorite people in the industry, icon. He's like the Vidal Sassoon of Japan.
Right.
And so he called me and said that he was going to be retiring and wanted to leave his employees in good hands, which was an honor. So I had Horst in Minneapolis, and I had JUUST in San Francisco, and I'm David. Mm-hmm. So it was really confusing. And then Estee Lauder bought out Aveda.
Right.
So then people didn't know who owned the salons. So we decided to change the name from Horst and JUUST to something that we meant to our guests. So it was a really interesting process. We had focus groups, and one woman, I'll never forget watching the group, and she said, I come here to have my bucket filled. I give to my work, I give to my family, I give to my friends. Here I get it back. I fill my bucket up so that I can go out and give it away. So we literally took the word fill and refill and did a name search, and we found a Japanese word, Juuten, Juuten, that literally means to fill. And I liked the way that it looked aesthetically better just as Juut. Mm-hmm. So we did Juut, and then we did a name search on Juut and found that it meant to uplift humanity and serve others. And it's exactly who we are and what we do. So now, we have 9 in Minneapolis, 2 in Arizona now, and the one in San Francisco. And I love what we mean as a group to our guests, and that everybody all of the employees, we have 450 employees, and they get to see themselves within, it's like a mirror of themselves. They get to see themselves within that organization rather than my name being on the door and me being the representative.
Well, and I think that that's one of the things that really makes the fertile ground that this culture, this DNA that you have created, that allowed for that woman to say that she comes here to get her buckets filled. And that sort of led to your really being focused on your customers and creating that culture among your staff, really being focused on the customer. Tell us a little bit about how Daymaker came about in that culture.
Well, I was traveling a lot doing hair seminars for Aveda, doing platform work, we call it. So I was down in Dallas, Texas, doing a hair show for 800 people. And the person that cut hair before me told the model that he wasn't going to cut a lot off, and he, walks out on stage and he gives her a pixie, and she's crying on stage, and the audience was like, "Oh my God!" It was like abusive,
Mm-hmm.
And my model looked at me and she said, "You're not going to do that, right?" And I said, "No, I'm going to do what we agreed to." So it was a gorgeous haircut that he did. It just, she didn't want it,
mm-hmm.
And so I walked out on stage and I said, what if I was here to make my model's day?
Mm-hmm.
What if I was here to make her day and not mine? So she doesn't want a lot off, so I'm going to show you a new technique and so on. So I did this really nice haircut, but it wasn't that dramatic of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But when I presented her to the audience gave her a standing ovation.
Mm-hmm.
I got a standing ovation for an okay haircut.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the act of beauty that they were applauding, right?
Right.
So that always stuck with me. So that night I was flying home, and this was 1986, so I had, like, big rock and roll REO Speedwagon hair. Remember that?
Right.
And, I mean, this was, playing the part back in the 80s, so I had leather pants on, big rock and roll hair, and I was flying first class back to Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat next to this very conservative businessman, and he looked at me and he said, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm a Daymaker." It's the first time I ever said it.
Uh-huh.
Because I remembered from the afternoon. And he said, "A what?" And I said, "I'm a Daymaker." And he said, "What in the world is a Daymaker?" And I said, "Well, I make people's day." And he said, "Well, you must do it really well," because I was traveling first class. So I went home the next day, and I turned my card from stylist to Daymaker, and I handed it out to my customers. And my customers would say, "Daymaker," and I'd say, "Yeah, I'm here to make your day." "Oh, it's so cute." I thought it was so cute. And I would go out to parties and and social events, and I'd hand my card out. "Oh, I'm a stylist. Come on in. I'll make your day." And it was so cute. So for 3 or 4 months, it was this really fun thing to do with my guests.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my clients, she came in every 5 weeks like clockwork for a trim. And in between, she came in to have her hair done. And I said, "Do you have something special going on tonight?" And she said, "No, I just want to look good and feel good." So I said, "Great." And I gave her the best stress-relieving treatment and a really great shampoo. And we had a blast for a half hour. And I'll never forget when she left, she gave me this big hug. And I knew that something changed, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And a few days later, I got a card from her, and it said, "David, thank you for being there without knowing that you were. The reason she came in to have her hair done was because she wanted to look good, and the reason she wanted to look good was she was going to commit suicide that night."
Oh, my gosh.
She wanted to look good at her own funeral. She changed her mind in our half hour. She went home, told her sister what she was going through, and her sister brought her to the hospital. And, I still get goosebumps when I tell that story of 1986.
Mm-hmm.
And what I came away with was that I would have never chosen her as the one.
Mm-hmm.
You could have lined up 200 of my clients, and she had it going on. I would have never guessed that she was the one. So I started treating every one of my guests as if they were the one.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, something that I was really good at, which was cutting hair, became something that I lived for.
Mm-hmm.
I came in and I had such a purpose in what I was doing because I was going to be that person to that to that guest every single time. And, you know, when I'd come in at 9 o'clock and leave at, 6, 7 o'clock sometimes, I used to get, depleted by the end of the day.
Right.
But when you give as a Daymaker, it's like you're harvesting energy.
Mm-hmm.
I had just as much energy at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then it kind of built up even through the day because I was having such a blast doing what I was doing and feeling on purpose. So that changed our whole because all of a sudden, it wasn't a cute thing, it was a profound thing. So people started putting Daymakers on their card, Daymaker on their business card, and to go from being a stylist to being a Daymaker had a huge shift in our culture.
Absolutely.
Knowing that we truly live a noble purpose.
Absolutely. Then I was just going to say that it's so much bigger than hair. There was actually a noble purpose. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation and talk with David about how he's been able to manifest that into a book and actually be able to create a culture all around being a Daymaker. So stay with us. We'll be right back. I'm ready when you are.
Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easier for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com, and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. I'm Patty Schmucker, and you're listening to RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. We're here with salon owner and Daymaker of Juut SalonSpas, David Wagner. David, it's just an amazing story, and as we said when we took the break, to hear you tell the story, it's the passion behind it that you really were able to discover that your purpose was much greater than something aesthetic, that you really being able to make a difference in people's lives. Tell us what the journey was then as it became really part of the purpose of Juut. How did you go from there to deciding to write a book about it?
Well, it was great, because as soon as that profound impact became part of my life, it became part of our employees' life, because we never know. I mean, we might touch people in that way that never write the letter back. And so everybody took it upon themselves to be a Daymaker. And what we realized was that we have 450 team members that touch 10 people a day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4,500 people every single day. And,
right.
and what we decided was that we didn't want to just impact that person. We wanted to touch them in a way with such reverence that they went on to touch 10 more in their day. So all of a sudden we're creating this big ripple effect, right? So we decided that as nail artists, as colorists, as stylists, as receptionists, that we could change the world. And it started with the ripple that in how we served people. So from, not just eye to eye, but heart to heart. When we can do heart-to-heart resuscitation on another human being, God, that just makes the world go round, right? So instead of doing hair, because all of a sudden we became known for day making, and when I went and did seminars, I wasn't cutting hair anymore. I was telling people about day making and how to bring that into their being, no matter what they did. And so it started in the beauty industry, and then I had the opportunity to go on a tour with Deepak Chopra and Wayne Dyer. And this was back in the 90s. And Deepak, of course, he was talking quantum physics, and, it was mind-blowing what he was talking about. And then Wayne would come out and say, okay, I'm going to give you the taxi driver version of what Deepak just said. And then I was the cleanup, and I'd give the hairdresser version. And people were lined up to buy books and tapes from Deepak, and, they had a whole system that, doing that. And then people were waiting for books and tapes from Wayne. And people came up to me and they said, where's your book? I want to buy a book and bring it home to my wife, or I want to bring it to my work and, tell people about day making. And I'm a high school graduate with a year of beauty school. I didn't know that we wrote books. So it didn't even cross my mind. But I kept getting asked, where's your book, or where's your book? So I decided that I would take some time and write a book. So I ended up going on vacation, basically, to Hawaii, and gave myself 6 weeks to write this book. And I didn't want it to be a theoretical book. I tell people I used to have 2 theories on raising children. Now I have 2 daughters. I don't have theories anymore. So my book is My Life as a Daymaker, or Life as a Daymaker. So it's not a theoretical book. It's really my experiences as a daymaker, things that have happened that, great things, tragedies, how I've handled things being a daymaker, the different roles that we play. So I became a daymaker stylist that led to me being a daymaker husband, led to me being a daymaker dad, daymaker stranger, neighbor, different roles that we play. So I wrote the book, and when I came back, 9/11 happened. And I thought, oh, my God, this little simple book about making people's day, what impact could it have? The pendulum had been swung over so far after 9/11.
Right.
And I realized that, yes, that was what was going to swing the pendulum, is everybody doing small things with great love, and that this could be a catalyst for that. So I didn't know anything about publishing or getting an agent, and the guy that prints our business cards and business forms said, yeah, I've never done a book before, but I'll print, a couple thousand for you. So we printed 2,000, and I gave 400 to my employees for Christmas, and I had 1,600 left in my garage. And we ended up selling them through the beauty industry. This was when the Salon Association was happening.
Right.
Salon owners bought the book for their employees. Their employees told their clients about it. So then the salons ended up selling it. So it was like the one book club.
Right.
And we ended up selling 50,000 copies in about 3 months.
Wow.
And I didn't know if that was good or bad, or we just kept cranking out books. And I ended up getting an agent, actually, Deepak's publicist, an agent, got a hold of the book and said, this has to be so much bigger. So we ended up shopping, going to New York and going to all the publishers and getting a deal, and ended up getting a publishing deal, which allowed for me to go on a 27-city book tour. And we took the Project Daymaker RV with us, and went to homeless shelters and AIDS hospices and things like that, and got a lot of news. And my big break with it was we were on Good Morning America, and they blocked off Times Square for us, and we did Stressed Out New Yorkers on April 15th, which is tax day.
Right.
And the book became a bestseller the next week, and it still keeps going. I've only written one book, and it's over 1 million copies now, and it's been published in China and Taiwan and Hong Kong, and it's just amazing how this little ripple keeps
And it's really something that when you talk about our industry at this point, it has permeated so many corners of our industry in terms of people that are invested for much more than just the external. It's really being able to make a difference in people's lives. Tell us, we've only got a couple of minutes left in this segment, but can you give us some of the key tenets that are part of being a Daymaker?
Well, one big lesson for me when I was writing my book, one of the chapters is how to be a Daymaker for your mate. So I took my wife to coffee and I said, okay, I really want to get this one right. So I said, write down 10 things that I could do to make your day. Mm-hmm. And I thought we would be there for an hour. And she wrote them down, quickly handed them back to me on this legal pad. And I read them, and number one was listen. Mm-hmm. Number 2, communicate. Number 3, participate. Number 4, listen. Number 5, communicate. And number 10 was repeat 1 through 9, right? So the lesson for me, and it, honestly, Patty, it was huge for me, was it wasn't what I did, it was who I was. She wanted me to be a good listener. She wanted me to communicate. She wanted me to participate. It wasn't it wasn't a to-do list. So for me, and I would urge your listeners, is to write things to do is one thing, but when you decide to be a Daymaker and allow the doing, the universe will present itself where the doing will just come natural. The universe will put opportunities in your lap. But when you wear a hat on, if you put your Daymaker hat on, man, the universe will just throw opportunities your way.
It's really profound. I mean, the idea of it's not a doing, it's a being. And I love the way that you put that so that people understand that it's an emotional transformation that's taking place.
Exactly.
All right, well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're just going to continue this wonderful conversation with one of the industry's most inspirational leaders, Mr. David Wagner. Stay with us.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call EarthChannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. We are here with David Wagner, salon owner and daymaker of Juut SalonSpas, headquartered in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm Patty Schmucker, and you're listening to RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. David, we talked a little bit about how the book came to be and that whole process of you self-publishing. Tell us a little bit more about how you developed this culture across 11 salons that are spread out over 3 states. How does all of that come to be?
Well, I think, for me, I learned something a long time ago, and I feel that purpose leads, people don't. And what I mean by that is that if the purpose of the company, why you exist, is so strong in its purpose versus who's leading at any given time is really, really important. So I've been a huge advocate in my company. I try to teach other entrepreneurs that, you've got to be able to create a culture that thrives on itself, not needs the motivation from a particular person. So one of the tests that I had, it was my wife and I decided to move to Maui, Hawaii, and we moved there for 9 years, and Juut kept growing. Mm-hmm. And the reason that it kept growing was because people felt like they were on purpose, the company was on purpose, they were being held as employees. So I could still be a Daymaker boss, but it didn't depend on me. And it's kind of a I love working on it versus in it, and getting to a size where you can work on a company versus in a company. I've learned from Richard Branson. I've learned from, all kinds of different people around entrepreneurism that, creating the new and so on. What I think is so important is to give people kind of an autonomy, in a sense, to be daymakers. So we don't have scripts necessarily. What we value is individuality, authenticity, and real beauty. And so we allow daymakers to be daymakers and, not wear a mask. 82% of American workers today feel like they're wearing a mask at work. And what I think we do at Juut really, really well is we celebrate individuality. We celebrate authenticity. And some salons wear all black. Mm-hmm. We used to do that. And one of a couple of our managers went to visit another salon group, and they came back and said, "Oh man, it would be great. It looks so crisp and professional." And we put a survey out to our employees: should we wear all black? And it was kind of divided. And when I went and looked at our mission statement is we celebrate individuality, authenticity, and real beauty. That means that we can't all look uniform.
Right.
So it helped, that helped lead us in that way as well. I think part of, the culture came from Horst. Part of the culture came from the legacy of Yosh with education. Yosh had a great saying is, we're better today than yesterday, and we'll be better tomorrow than today. Mm-hmm. So lifelong learning, education, all of that is really steeped. Sales is important, but the most important or the most revered award that you can get at Juut, we have monthly awards, and then, of course, we have our annual award ceremony. And the one that most people cherish is not the highest sales for the year or stylist of the year, colorist of the year. It's Daymaker of the year. Mm-hmm. And that's voted on by their coworkers. And, so I think just supporting and buoying that. It's interesting, too, where, if somebody's having a bad day, typically they take a wellness day and take off work. Mm-hmm. What our employees have said is, if I'm having a bad day, I come to work so that my fellow workers can buoy me that day.
Interesting.
So they come to work to be held, mm-hmm. and then they know that someday, it's their day, and the next day they might have to hold somebody else. So it's not only making our clients' day, it's making each other's day.
And in being able to reinforce that. I mean, it sounds like you're even in the awards, everything in the culture is designed to hold up and support these values. Individuality, authenticity, and real beauty. All the behaviors are reinforced. Did you craft those, or was it input from the entire group that helped you to craft those things that would reinforce that behavior?
No, I think if you're going to develop a mission statement, it has to be inclusive, and the process everybody has to be able to weigh in and see themselves in it. So we spend a lot of time with a lot of people taking words that were important to them, the tone of it even. And, even around our pillars, our 3 pillars are love, creativity, and passion. And to be in a loving environment, to be with people that not only love what they're doing, but love who they're doing it with and who they're doing it on is really profound. And I do a lot of consulting with, corporate America. And the one thing that, it's almost like love is taboo out in the corporations, but love is I've fired people because they're not loving. And, so that's the whole day-making thing, too, is, how do you fire people if you're a day-maker? And we tell people, you know what, we love you and we're going to miss you. Because absenteeism and, those types of things can't be tolerated for so long. Everybody has a bad day, but when it's chronic, it can be an issue.
Right. And so in the work environments, you said the 3 pillars are love, creativity, and passion?
Yeah, and, those are measurable and they're observable. So how do you measure love? I think that it's through attraction of new employees, and it's the retention of those employees. We have hairdressers that have been with us. I think the longest is 42 years now.
Wow.
We've got people in 30 years, 20 years. Every year we celebrate. The list just keeps getting longer because they're part of this culture, part of this family or tribe, I guess you could call it. And we go through childbearing, and all of a sudden their kids are going to college, and it's amazing how how much of a culture. I'm a fan of anthropology, and what cultures have are passing from seniors to juniors, and flags and colors and celebrations, and all these things that we can learn from various cultures, and we try to instill those and bring those about at Juut.
And it's interesting, too, that the difference as far as how the words that you're using, so when you mention how do you measure love, and you say by the attraction, by how people are being able to attract, in your particular case, you're the owner, so you're attracting the employees, but is the measurement also applied to a stylist in the way that they're attracting customers?
Absolutely. New referrals and retention. When you walk out, we should be able to say, Patty, did you love your experience? And what my favorite thing in the world is to sit in our waiting areas, and I think a new metrics that all businesses should measure is hugs per day.
Okay.
How many hugs per day are you getting? So what I love is I sit in the waiting area, and not how many clients hug you on the way out because they're thanking you for what they receive, but they're hugging on the way in because they're so looking forward to seeing you. That, to me, is, that gets to the heart of the making a genuine connection with people where, they love their stylist. And we hear it all the time. Oh, my God, I love Patty. Oh, my God, I love David. And what am I going to do with her on maternity leave? Oh, my God, I love, so, yeah, I think you can measure love, and the metrics show up with requests because they're sending their friends and if they come back.
But calling it love instead of retention or the things that we're used to in business makes the entire difference in terms of the way I, as the employee, think about it. Because, as you said, we're fulfilling a nobler purpose. I love that. Yeah.
It's infectious.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take our last break, and so stay with us. When we come back for our wellness segment, we'll talk about how one becomes their own Daymaker. So don't go away.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easier for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
Oh, man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Welcome back to RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm Patty Schmucker, and we've been having a wonderful conversation with a leader that I have had the honor to watch and learn from for over 3 decades. David, tell us a little bit about how you hold up the model as well as support your staff in becoming their own Daymakers.
Well, I know that you can't give what you don't have. So when you're going to decide that you're going to be a Daymaker for others, you really have to have a full tank in order to do that. So one thing that I've taught our staff, and I do it myself as well, is it doesn't necessarily mean spending an hour every day meditating or doing yoga, although a lot of people find that helps. But what I encourage people to do is literally start your day with a 2 or 3 minute meditation where you're just breathing in all the energy that the universe has to offer you, right? And I have a really simple mantra, and that mantra is, today I promise to share love, today I promise to share love, today I promise to be a Daymaker. And I keep breathing in and I keep repeating that. Today I promise to share love, today I promise to share joy, today I promise to be a Daymaker. And you fill yourself up with that kind of energy until you can, literally feel it coming out the top of your head. And then you go out and you give it away. And Daymakers give quite differently. I talk about people that give palm up. So they give, there's a condition attached. So they'll give to get the tip. They'll give to get your friendship. Some people do it for karma, which is a really strange condition, right? But Daymakers give palm down where there's no string attached. When you give palm down, you're giving it away many times anonymously, sometimes, and that's when you actually, again, harvest energy. So when you're giving it away with no expectation in return is the purest form of Daymaking. And so I encourage people to start their day that way. And if you get stressed out throughout the day, literally it takes 2-3 minutes, a little bit of quiet time, breathing that in. Today I promise to share love. Today I promise to share joy. Today I promise to be a Daymaker. And then it makes the being a Daymaker just that much easier because it's like top of mind and you've got the energy to do it. The other thing that I would encourage people is really taking a look at what their stressors are. We have a lot of younger people working with us that they came to the beauty industry because they didn't fit in the normal, going to college or whatever it might be. And what we found is that there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of depression, a lot of questions about, who they are, what they're doing. So to be able to sit down and really spend time deciding who you want to be, and again, not wearing that mask and bringing out your own authenticity. We spend an awful lot of time with people on Daymaker classes, basically identifying who they want to be in the world and how they see themselves in the world. And all of a sudden they become, it's almost like satisfied with who they are. They're sitting in their station of life going, oh my God, I'm making a profound difference. And it's not about doing hair, it's about being a Daymaker. So no matter what you decide to do, you can always be a Daymaker, and that comes up as well. Some things that we do to support that is we, of course, do a lot of technical classes on hair cutting and coloring and things like that. But one thing that our staff most look forward to each year is we have a wellness seminar each year where we bring in speakers. Last year we had 400 people sitting on yoga balls doing this class, and we brought in a Qigong master to teach them how to do Qigong. We brought in farmers to talk about their CSAs, community supported agriculture. We brought in Deborah Madison, who started the slow food movement. So it's about wellness from giving them the resources, not that they're going to do Qigong on clients, but that they can incorporate it into their lives and look at wellness as a way to buoy who they are and what they offer their clients and their friends and family as well. There's a Qigong master that we work with, and he thinks that there needs to be a healer in every family, and he encourages our employees to be that healer.
And the process just expands the learning and the connectivity between the entire group because they're having these shared experiences that are allowing them to be Daymakers for themselves.
It helps them expand. There's an expansion in their life that they appreciate. And to be able to expand knowledge and to expand and become more of a resource, and we call it being a way shower. Don't tell the way, show the way. So all of a sudden they're sharing their experience with their customers and directing them to Qigong or yoga or Tai Chi, whatever it might be, and good restaurants or cooking classes that people could take. We have a company library of audio tapes or audio books that people check out on a regular basis, all geared toward wellness and becoming more conscious, basically.
And I love what you said. You said don't tell the way, show the way. So you call them way showers.
Yeah, it's the best title in the world.
I love that. I love that. So in the time that we have as we wrap up, tell us what do you see? Where do you see Juut and your team moving in the future?
Well, Juut, we right now, last year we served 420,000 people at our various locations. So we know that we're touching people. We're growing the tribe because, our not only our employees Daymakers, but there's a vibration and a ripple that's created by our customers as well. So I think, to continue to grow that, be a way-shower company. I'm doing a lot of work with companies around the country and around the world right now that want to incorporate what we've got from a cultural point of view because they want to make a difference for their customers and their employees as well. So our goal is to transform the world with beauty. We know that we can do it with individuals. We know that society needs more beauty and can be transformed, and I think business can be transformed as well. So our goal is to just be the Daymakers and be the way showers for, not only society but business as well.
And when and you mentioned the fact that you're doing quite a bit of work as a consultant, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to try and reach you?
They can go to daymakermovement.com. They can read, our various offerings. I do an awful lot of inspirational speaking outside of the industry as well. I've been fortunate to travel around the world and work with entrepreneurs and Young Presidents Organization and, some really cool companies that want to make a difference in the world, and they can read more about it at daymakermovement.com.
Great. Brother, thank you. It's just been an amazing journey to watch you and to see the wonderful work that you're doing. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Patty.
So as we wrap up for today, what an amazing inspiration this man is. I can't tell you how thrilled I am. And I am just so fortunate to have people like David, as well as next week. You'll need to join us because our guest, she's returning. We've had her on before. She's retiring from her roles as editor of some of the leading media organizations for the beauty industry. Marianne Doherty will be with us, and you'll learn a little bit about what the next chapter looks like for this industry icon. Thanks for listening to Radio AMB, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now, this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easier for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
Obstacle racing. You know you want to try it. Well, try Reebok's Spartan Race, the global leader in obstacle racing. With 4 different race levels, their goal is to get you up off the couch and throw you into the mud and on the trails to give you the adrenaline rush of your life. Obstacle courses are designed to test your resilience, strength, stamina, quick decision-making skills, and give you the ability to laugh in the face of adversity. Visit HealthyLife.net advertiser page and click on Spartan Race.
HealthyLife.net, the Positive Radio Network.